As the late Michael Winner said, calm down. We're going to beat Bashka Topola in Serbia. Okay? We're going to do it. Because if we don't, I'm going to have loads of Spurs fans and family members and West Ham fans as well on my back calling me a knobhead and calling me a cocky prick. So West Ham, avoid making me red-faced and win. Europa League is once again back on our TV screens. This time for me it's at 9:45 in the morning, which isn't too bad actually. I can live with it. And it's at that time because it's going to be the earlier kickoff with West Ham trialling over to Eastern Europe to face TSC Bachka Topola in northern Serbia. Now, we played in Eastern Europe last season. We played in Bucharest, the capital of Romania. We're back there again, playing in a nearby nation, which is, of course, Serbia, as I say. A lot of fans I've seen are already going out there. They've been taking photos of having pre-flight beers or taking photos of the gate to Belgrade at airports. And that's great. West Ham's going to turn out in this no matter what, because nothing can stop West Ham fans from going anywhere abroad. As Alfie for West Ham Online said, "Oh, but James, mate, you live a bit far, mate. It's too far for you to go." And it is, sadly. Don't live in Europe anymore. I'll keep saying this in every video. One thing I regret about not living in Europe anymore, specifically the UK, is I can't travel cheaply around Europe. I can't go to West Ham away games in Europe as easily. But the one perk is I can use my Canadian passport to make things a little bit easier for me. Maybe if West Ham does get through into the knockout stages, I'll consider booking a flight. But knowing us, it's going to be in a lot of tougher place. It's going to be in Western Europe. Going over to Eastern Europe is probably a little bit better because it's a different part of the whole continent. It's got a different kind of history. It's got different kinds of architecture. It's been through different transitions over the years. Some of those transitions are more recent, and you'll definitely feel that more in Serbia. Bashka Topola seems like one of those places that has had quite a big European influence, especially from the Balkans and Yugoslavia. So it's probably going to be a very interesting place to see a football game. I can only imagine what it's going to be like at the stadium. The only game in the Europa League group stage in which Topola was able to obtain points was through a 2-2 draw against Olympiacos. It's lost every other game in the group stage, unfortunately. Well, it's unfortunate for the fans, I suppose I should say. When we played them at the London Stadium, West Ham came away as 3-1 winners. Mahanga Kudus scored a brace and Thomas Suchek came off the bench to head the third goal late on. Despite West Ham going 1-0 down early in the second half, things kicked on and there was no embarrassment. And I hope to avoid an embarrassment in Serbia. Just need to make it a little bit easier for ourselves, though. The player that stood out to me in the last game was Nemanja Stojic, I think that's how you pronounce his name. The reason he stood out to me was because he was keeping their defence quite grounded as well in that game. Marko Rankajak is another name that I see is worth mentioning. He is from Montenegro. He is one of the few non-Serbs in the team. Ben Sisos is a Hungarian player who is another non-Serb that's in this team. They also have other players who all have names pretty much ending in I, C, / above it. It's not a very diverse name, really, but it must mean like son of, I'm guessing. So Petrovic must mean son of Petro. Miloslavljevic, I'm guessing you pronounce it. It must be son of Miloslav. That must mean what itch means. But I'm itching already to get over to Thursday's game so I can actually watch it. Because I'm excited and I don't know why. But I am. Just want that European game to come around again. And we get to see these players at home and see how they are in front of the home fans. Hopefully they'll have that, like, home crowd with them. It's going to be that kind of atmosphere that comes with it, and they'll be wanting that. Because they took a hell of a lot of fans to London, and now it's their turn to welcome West Ham fans in a hostile way. Those players ain't going to make it easy no matter what. And the next slide, by the way, there's no he played for both, because nobody played for both West Ham and Bachka Topola. No one did. And if they actually did, I will eat the memory stick on my computer. Then I'll choke to death, and then I'll have no one else to do from the anvil. Who's going to take over my channel if that happens? Batter him 3-0, or even more. But Barmy deserves to start in this because of how he played against Burnley. Deserves that first goal credited to him. I want Cornet to start. I want Fornals to start because he's becoming a lost man. Cresswell's going to end up starting. Fabianski's going to end up starting. Ben Johnson's probably going to get the nod. Mavropanos will get the nod. Who else? Ben Rama's going to get played. Danny Ings will get played at some point. Mark my words, those things are going to happen. And West Ham's going to beat these guys. It's happening. Promise you. Bet my life savings. West Ham is going to beat Topola in Serbia.